A growing threat tonight that's as unpredictable as it is fierce.
That wildfire now near Mount Diablo is flaring up tonight. Good evening, I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Carolyn Johnson. We begin with developing news on the Mount Diablo fire. Strong winds tonight are feeding the flames that have already charred 3,718 acres.
At this point, the fire is only 20% contained. 100 homes are still in danger. The fire is burning in the area of Morgan Territory and Marsh Creek Roads on the east side of Mount Diablo State Park.
ABC 7 News reporter Alan Wong is there live for us tonight. Alan, a tough night for fire crews there.
Yes, and we are on Morgan Territory, or excuse me, we're on Marsh Creek Road, near that road, Morgan Territory Road, where firefighters are trying to control that fire that is threatening to jump the road. This is what it looks like just around the corner on Morgan Territory Road. Around 9 o'clock, CAL FIRE says everything was under control on the east side of the mountain. Then all of a sudden the wind picked up and the flames came racing down this hill toward Morgan Territory Road. Now the road is the last fire break standing in the way of these flames that are yards away from several homes and horse stables. A line of horse owners with trailers are waiting for CAL FIRE to let them in to rescue their animals, but the fire's right up to the road and CAL FIRE can't let them in until it's safe.
Trying to evacuate horses out and get some livestock out and see what we can do.
How many horses do you have up there?
Personally, I can account for about 40 of them that I know from friends and mine and all around.
In other areas of the Bay Area and in California, when night falls, the fire dies down, the humidity comes up and the winds subside. That doesn't always happen in the Mount Diablo range.
Firefighters say Mount Diablo conditions are uncommon because at night the warmth from the heated ground mixes with that cool air from the fog and causes an eddy effect. Tonight that same effect suddenly whipped up the winds and came down that hill, surprising everyone out here. There is a mandatory evacuation order on Morgan Territory Road, but not everyone is leaving. They do not have to, even though it's a mandatory evacuation. CAL FIRE says it'll be out here protecting that road all night long. We'll keep you updated throughout this newscast, and of course you can follow us on Twitter. Reporting live in Clayton, I'm Alan Wong, ABC 7 News.
All right, Alan, thanks. Some residents who are under evacuation orders were allowed to return home temporarily to collect personal items and pets. You see here the evacuation area in red on the map. Fire officials say they strongly discourage anyone from remaining in this fire area for obvious reasons. Now, some of those residents own horses. It is horse country out there, and evacuation orders mean the animals need to be stabled. One place they're going is the Walnut Creek Equestrian Center, where at least 14 horses have found shelter. The Contra Costa County Fairgrounds in Antioch is also sheltering horses. The fire is sending up a giant plume of smoke. You can see it here rising from the East Bay Hills, as seen from a camera on Volmer Peak. As a result, a smoke advisory is in effect in Contra Costa, Alameda, and Santa Clara counties. ABC 7 News reporter Nick Smith is live tonight in Dublin at CAL FIRE's base camp. Nick.
Absolutely, Dan. Good evening. Those who are fighting the wildfire on Mount Diablo, that staging area is right behind me, and officials tell me that those battling the flames have more to contend with than just the fire. They warn that anyone in direct path of the fumes and smoke avoid the noxious flames.
These aren't exactly optimal working conditions for practice, that's for sure.
As Livermore High School's football team prepares for their game this Friday, the players on the field are fighting other opponents right now. Rising temperatures and smoke from the Mount Diablo fire.
I understand that the guys are struggling a little bit more today than usual. That's why we had adjusted our times as far as, recovery in between each, sprints.
The smoke advisory for parts of Contra Costa, Alameda, and Santa Clara counties warns that anybody engaging in any outdoor activity needed to take it easy. For the varsity team, that meant adjusting to the conditions by practicing in helmets and shoulder pads and drinking plenty of water. For the marching band, it meant keeping time and keeping an eye on each other.
When we come back out with our instruments, it'll probably be a little tougher as far as the breathing motions.
And for one student, things did get tough. We were there when the conditions affected one student's breathing so much that paramedics were called. The teen was given oxygen and is expected to be okay. Healthcare officials say the best way to avoid being a victim of the heat and smoke affecting some areas is to avoid being in it.
I was at work, it was air conditioned, and it wasn't that hot when I got out.
Ms. Altman says she waited till the sun went down before doing anything outside, like watering her garden. And she shared her trick to staying cool and keeping the air in her home clean.
Turn on the air conditioner first thing in the morning. I mean like 9 or 10 o'clock, because air conditioning can only bring it down 20 below ambient.
Keeping your home cool and closed off from the smoke is a good way to avoid the heat and dirty air. In Dublin, Nick Smith, ABC 7 News.
There is an outpouring of support for firefighters battling the Mount Diablo fire. These pictures from claycord.com show people dropping off food and water, but crews are asking community members not to donate supplies. They say they are humbled by the support, but they already have plenty of food and water. And here's a look at the U Report pictures our viewers sent in today. This one is from Captain Bob. It was shot from Clayton earlier this afternoon. You can see the color of the flames painted against the smoky sky here. And another picture showing Mount Diablo. The fire almost makes this look like it's a volcano erupting. You can send in your pictures to ureport@kgo-tv.com.